Hello, Star Wars CCG players, fans, and folks who just really want to hang out with me on a Wednesday evening. Um, Garrett Larson here, Dead Body on the forums and Slack and GEMP and everywhere else. Joined with my good friend Robbie Herndon. Robbie, how's it going
And
today?
pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. So we are here for the first game of the OCS playoffs. This is going to be Casey Ennis, Spidey Guy, playing Darkseid, I believe. Darkseid is what he told me, versus Wayne Cullen on Lightside. What's your thoughts here?
I expect a good game between two very good players. Um, I think both of them are really do well on GIMP. Casey's done well. He went 5-3 at Worlds. You know, he's had good years, so I expect a good game on both sides, and hopefully we'll see a good matchup.
And that's really about what I'd be saying too. All right, so Casey, I'll be honest, I definitely expected Casey to be on Huntdown. That's a deck he's played a whole bunch of for a long time and done really well with it. I think Wayne might have expected that because Wayne's definitely played some decks that Huntdown can sort of feast on, and they both shifted a little bit here. We got Wayne on
Uh,
your baby.
Wayne has been known to play this deck, so um, it doesn't surprise me that Casey kind of switched off Hunt down because he's finally listened to me that it's not good against WHAP. Um, so
When WAP is played well, Huntdown
yes,
is a problem.
yeah. Um, like WHAP just has a really good matchup usually against dark side mains. It's really hard for them to remove General Kenobi off the table sometimes, and you've got so many tricks and Vader's effect isn't as good as Luke's effect, so you can disarm Vader and all that kind of stuff. So it can be really brutal depending on if WAP can find answers. But ROPS, on the other hand, ROPS can provide some issues.
ROPS will be interesting. I'm. This was definitely not the matchup I expected to see. It'll be
No,
it'll be interesting. So
yeah, and it kind of depends on if Casey's going for the flip or not. If that will make a big difference in how this plays out. Like the flip side of ROPS gets around the WAP effect, so you can track lower destinies and then add a bunch to your total battle destiny at the end,
yep.
and you can still clear things.
Yeah.
Um,
If Casey's planning to flip, this could definitely be problematic.
yeah,
But Casey may not be planning to flip. I mean, he's grabbing a site. I'd expect. Okay, so spaceport sites. This kind of looks like a flip attempt, and like I said, you got Wayne on your baby. We have a plan, which is something you've played and done very well with at a lot of events. Casey using one of the virtual cards I designed, which always makes me happy to see, Establish Control, and just slowly getting stuff out. He gets his docking bay out, throws down Vane,
yep,
and gets some
yeah,
extra
gets
force
Vector.
going. Just steady build up. You know,
Yeah,
he's building the activation platform. He's going to activate a bunch,
yep,
and it's really a question of what he's going to do with it.
yeah. I mean, he'll have lots of options with the amount of force he'll start activating here in a little bit. So
Yeah, I mean he'll be at least a dozen force on turn two,
right,
which gives him the ability to potentially. Good Lord, Ryan Searson just hit 6 years, hit a 6 year streak on Prime subscription. So that is amazing, and thank you very much for that. Prime subscriptions are definitely one of the ways you can really passively just help the players committee and It throws a little bit of money towards the PC, which allows us to do things like this OCS and streaming and
Yep.
the poker chips that it sounds like Robbie's playing with.
Oh, can you hear that? I'll stop. Like,
It's a
I
little bit.
they have literally no gold leaf left on those poker chips. I have shuffled them so much. Yeah, Jared just commented
Jared
on
heard
it.
it too. Yeah,
Yeah, my bad. I wasn't sure. Garrett didn't complain while we were chatting earlier, so I just was like, oh, maybe you can't hear it.
it took a second. I was doing a couple other things, and I was like, wait a minute, is he just shuffling poker chips? And all right, so Casey just really sets up a bunch of
Yeah,
activation and draws a few, and Wayne says, well, I'm going to throw General Kenobi down. I'm going to throw a Saber on him with Jedi's Business. Qui-Gon's V-Saber? They had one? Okay.
you can
Yeah,
you can do lots of stuff.
that one's kind of good. So, and, oh yeah, Casey, they're both going to have no trouble with activation.
They may have trouble pulling cards, but no trouble with activation.
Yeah, I mean, if Casey goes for the flip, the pull might be, you know, use
Yeah,
two force to pull one of three cards kind of thing, but
yeah.
that'll be, you know, Casey may not really be planning on pulling anything, just use the flip for the Battle Destiny modifier and whatnot, and really, he may just be trying to abuse Insignificant Rebellion.
I would assume so. I
Like,
would assume this is similar to a Meals build that ran like a bunch of Vanes that you just swap in and out for other
yeah,
cards.
Vane can turn into Vader real easily,
Yeah.
and you just keep your Vaders alive forever, or keep always having Vaders.
Which becomes a real big problem for or for WAP to constantly have guys being deployed and then the potential for massive Battle Destiny edition later
Yeah.
that they can't cancel. So,
And that might actually be the hardest part for Casey is keeping low destiny in his reserve deck so it can't be canceled
right.
and he can still add to it. Like that was always that's always the hardest part against WAP is especially now decks are so tuned to be running high destiny that trying to figure out and set up and draw low is not easy.
No.
So we'll see how that goes for him here. And, he may not be pursuing a real aggressive flip either. Like he might
It's
be. It
hard.
would not shock me if he. Here's the other spaceport site. Here's the docking bay. Drop a
Right.
couple
It's
guys, move Vane, and go to town.
Yeah, the problem is WAP can be aggressive. I assume that this is the standard build that everybody seems to be playing from New Allies for the most part, where you run, Qui-Gon, one Mace, one Obi, that kind of stuff. So, if Qui-Gon can be a issue to attack and get some beatdowns in too. So,
Qui-Gon can be something you got to keep in mind, but like you do have with the spaceport city, and I'm definitely abusing the new GEMP everything immediately blows up feature, and occasionally just highlighting cards. But like if you get 3 or 4 Reltier sites, like Qui-Gon alone, he'll probably clear the site, but it's going to be tough to do a lot of overflow when, if WAP
he,
isn't flipped yet.
he also isn't going to be removed from the table though,
And that's going to be the
which,
harder part,
yeah,
is if you can't get him off the table, like, he's going to sit and dance on Reltier, but at the same time, like, ROPS says the force drains are -1 everywhere. So, like, you can also
right.
just kind of ignore Qui-Gon. Like, fine, you can have your site, Qui-Gon. I'll just move around everywhere else
Right,
and go to town.
right.
And I think
Although,
Casey's just going for the quick, hard flip. Like we see Maul and Scimitar at
yeah,
Kessel, which is then a system that WAP's going to struggle to deal with a little bit.
uh,
The Resolute with Yularen doesn't draw Battle Destiny there.
no, but you throw Anakin up there.
Yeah, you got to get another pilot, but now it's again putting a 3-card combo together.
Well, no.
And
Anakin and Resolute are matching, so it gets the immunity with Anakin as well.
yeah, but you have to. He doesn't have a puller out right now, so you still have to
No,
find all three of
yes.
those cards, which is
Well,
going to be
they
a little harder.
if it's like the new allies build, they do run two Anakins, I believe. So
And I think they run Navy as well, which gives them a
they
little
do. They
more. Like there's ways to get there, but it's Casey's going aggressive
He is,
with
and
this.
I would assume he's got a barrier or a gick at least
Yeah,
somewhere.
I,
Just,
I would be
I
shocked
mean,
if he doesn't. And look at it, 19 force for each of them. And we
yeah,
see Wayne dropped the Unitas shield, so he gets the force generation +1. The Rebels deploy -2 means nothing since he can't play any.
correct.
That's a little bit of a surprise if he's also running the Unita effect. I would
Yeah,
think the spot retrieval would be better than getting an extra 3 force.
I would agree.
Like
You
I
don't have a ton of retrieval in WAP, so to give up that spot retrieval
yeah, for
to
3
get
force, I mean, you were already activating 16.
well 18 total with
Yeah,
the
with the flip
effect
side of
being
WAP.
being done twice.
And fortunately, he didn't have to pay for it as Wayne tried to drain at the hallway in between the WAP -1 and it being a force drain of 0 already.
Yep.
He
He
got
was
nothing.
he was sending a message,
Yeah. He's telling Casey, I want to do this. Like, I'm going to
right?
make you lose cards. And the Ascension
Now,
guns to move Kenobi in. I assume now we'll see the
yeah,
Queen
Queen
thrown
gets dropped.
down. And
Now the question also is, does Casey not activate a full amount to possibly pull Decree V? If since he's been checking where his deck is, if he's running Decree V, activating over half your deck to not be able to pull it could be rough.
um,
Because that is a way Wayne can stay in this game is all the direct damage.
so I think if I'm Casey, I probably activate everything this turn. I go for the pull right away. If Decree's not in there, then I know if I dump my hand, Decree's in there the next
Well, but he's
round.
looked both times, so Casey should be already knowing where that Decree V is in his deck. Have a general
Probably.
idea.
Well, but he's had to
So,
shuffle both times and he's used like all his force, so I'm not sure.
well, last turn though he activated 16.
Yeah.
He had 17 total active last turn, so he had
Yep.
larger force pile than reserve deck. If
So he's
Decree
going to
was in
know if
there,
it's in the top or the bottom.
right, he should know about. So that's
Yep.
the question there too. Is okay. He knows where that Decree is. If it was in the bottom half in his force pile, then does he activate only the 14 that he knows it can't be to try to make sure he gets it, or does he go for a little bit more and risk it?
Yeah, and that's. We'll see how much he activates because that'll tell us a lot.
Yeah.
And he may be looking at this and saying it's fine right now to take 2.
Oh yeah.
And the 2 might not be a big deal. Like, it's really, Decree gets to be real important if Wayne gets Panaka out and starts threatening 4.
Yeah.
2 isn't terrible right now because he's out damaging decently right now.
Yeah.
He's draining for 4 to Wayne doing 3.
And paying for it.
And Wayne's going to have to pay for it. Casey's absolutely going to put that out. And we see a little bit in chat. Yeah, Ryan saying he's not sure if the shield or the effect is better. I think in this case with WHAP, the effect is significantly better. You certainly don't need the force, and the put out of play is more important. In a deck that's heavy with rebels, I think the shield might
Well,
be more important. Getting that extra force and that activate and that cheap deploy or back to regular deploy can be real big.
and not to mention the grabbing something that you just lost in a battle. Like WAP has very little retrieval. Like
Yeah.
it's basically Unital, Walkling, and Jedi Lev. So if
Yep.
you lose something important, having the Unital to be able to grab it is far, far better than the shield is here.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we're both in hard agreement on that. That the Unita, and maybe Wayne's playing this differently and isn't running the Unita effect.
yeah, I mean he might not. Um,
That would seem odd because it's pullable with Walkling. Like,
yeah, I mean, I every build of WHAP I've ever played has Unita effect in it.
yeah,
Like,
and we'll
I
see. Wayne played leadership to pull Admiral Yularen, and Casey grabbed it. I think Wayne's trying to set up his space. If he can
yeah,
set up space and get the Resolute with Yularen at Camino, that's scary. Like that is a
yeah, like
hard thing to deal with. The effect, I believe, does give the Unita non-virtual effect gives all the characters -2, I believe, not just rebels. But I assume everyone's playing the virtual Unita, so you're not getting that -2.
yeah, you just your deploy cost can't be increased,
Yeah,
but none of the sites the docking bay does increase your deploy
yeah. The
cost.
document increased the total cost by 1, and Unita only affects the site it's deployed on.
Right.
So the other two, you're still paying the
Well,
bonus, but like you're not paying the tax in WHAP
right, because you don't
because
have
you
any
don't have any
rebels.
rebels. Like,
Right.
so it's not a huge cost, and it looks like Wayne's just
He's he's
he's
tanking up.
tanking. He's hard in thought right now, and I think it might be.
Well,
Does
he moved to
he?
his
Okay, he
battle
moved to
phase.
battle. Okay, so
He chose not to deploy the Yularen. Well, and we're just assuming he has
yeah,
Resolute in his hand.
he might not
Uh,
have, and it might have been more like he's figuring out if he wants to draw into something before using Walkling to go get like a disarmed or something. Like I
yeah,
don't. I also, I'll be honest, don't love that Obi-Wan's sitting there with 2 lightsabers
no, I think he needed to look it through his deck and
and got stuck.
deployed a light. Yeah, I mean, he needed to look through his deck for something and pulled the lightsaber because that's one of the few things WAP can't do like other decks is constantly
Yeah.
check their reserve, and
So,
so that will limit how he can attack.
and definitely it will. And honestly, like I don't love the goldenrod shield
No,
either. Like, what are you planning to? What do you think Casey's going to
I
be deploying for free?
I assumed he thought maybe Blizzard 4 or Shuttle, but like I'm one of the few people that I will rarely pull that shield for either of those two cards. Like it's a big deal first turn, and Wayne did pull it early, so maybe he was afraid of the Blizzard 4 pulling Choke Vader, sending Choke Vader to the hallway. Because
Yeah.
that can be a beating, but Casey only had like 5 force, so
So he
you
wasn't
know,
going to be able to do that full aspect,
right,
anyways. And after that, yeah, the tax of 2 when you're activating 20,
right. So
it
I
just
just,
probably isn't impactful enough to waste one of those shield pulls on.
I
So
mean, I don't know what else you're gonna pull though. Like,
yeah, you're not pulling battle order. You're gonna let Casey's gonna pull that.
I mean, you might pull that later, but you know,
I mean, Casey's
Casey,
pulling that
yeah, he'll
right
pull it
now.
for you
It's
real quick. Yeah, the way the game's been played, he'll pull it
and
quicker.
there's
But
the prefix office, which is the one. Yeah, the if you're Imperial leader here, all your Imperials on Reltier are power and forfeit +1. That's where the
that's where
Qui-Gon is gonna sit around, and Casey says, "I'm just
Casey's
gonna
can.
take over Reltier." I'm a little surprised that didn't go to
Did
the
he?
courtyard.
He and he did use two. So
Yeah, he's gonna deploy. I mean, when you're putting it down, you're gonna drop somebody on it, and he deploys Elspeth, who
no, I
was
meant
traded.
he used the two to search his deck. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
so he knew
guessing.
what he was getting.
Well, maybe he obviously didn't pull decree. Oh nope, there it is.
Yeah, or he did. He was just waiting to.
He was sandbagging me. I see. Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now Wayne is in a pickle, and I mean he's gonna have to attack in space.
and that's gonna be harder. That Grand Inquisitor doesn't do much, but forfeits for a bunch.
Yeah. Um. The problem though is if Wayne drops Yularen, Anakin, Resolute.
He's drawing
And
a bunch
even
of Battle Destiny.
yeah, he's drawing 2 Battle Destiny at +1 each. You're not probably getting one because WAP is flipped unless you have Dark Time to stop it.
Yep.
Um, it becomes a real problem, and its power. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 14. I think
Oh
15
yeah, I
power.
mean if Wayne
Like
has the Resolute and all the accoutrement for it, this could get real bad real quick for Casey. But you gotta imagine Casey's sitting on at least a barrier
yeah,
and
the way he
probably a
played
Gick as well.
the way he played last turn makes me think he didn't have the barrier last turn because he grabbed the leadership. But I mean, I think he also realized he needs to grab that. I think
Yeah,
um, most people aren't doing my shenanigans, so I don't think he really needs to worry about the word doomed. But he might want to grab, and it could be worse. But it could be worse when you're only preventing one. Is okay,
yeah.
whatever.
The it could be worse isn't a big deal, and until Wayne gets a 3PO out,
Yeah,
you don't care. And honestly, like ROPS is one of those decks that could very easily slot in a restraining bolt because you can just go get it when you face 3PO.
yeah,
Like,
but
oh,
it
that's cute. You get him for a turn. And
well
if you're stopping 3PO, things like We're Doomed and It Could Be Worse are less damaging.
yeah, well you still have Confisto to pull a card,
Yeah.
so
So,
it's not like the word doomed is huge to shut off all his drains of one.
and Casey was running non V or regular Monarch just to be
Yeah, yeah.
spicy. And we see the Resolute with Yularen. So
Oh,
no
there's
barrier, and there's the Angel with
Anakin.
Anakin. And I wonder. So here's where, if you have the barrier, you might have saved it for the Azure Angel, because the Resolute isn't doing anything at Kessel with the ability 6. No barrier. Um.
Like I
Well,
said, the way Casey played last turn, I wasn't expecting him to have the barrier. I do expect him to have a Gick, but I
yeah.
didn't expect him to have the barrier.
The Gick is not great though,
No, I mean he's gonna
just
lose out
because
of
you're going to lose
space.
space, and that's going to be bad.
The
So
the but he can come back next turn to a different system
yeah,
and he can just run around in space
it
the rest
will.
of the game.
However, if Casey draws a 2 or a 3 where he can't cancel it,
Right.
that'll
Or
be
has
where
dark
he'll
time.
take something with him. Or yeah, if he's got Dark Time, he'll if he has Dark Time, he's taking 2 things with him. And Wayne playing transmission terminated just to stop him from cloaking, to add a Destiny to power, or be fully immune. You're not going to do immunity here. It would have been add a
No,
Destiny to
you
power. There's the Dark Time, so he is protecting the Battle Destiny, so he is going to
maybe.
take
He
something
can,
with him.
it can still be sensed.
Yeah, we'll see. Wayne grabbed it
No.
right away, and
It can be Azure Angeled.
oh yeah, just cancel. Yeah, lose 1 force to cancel a non-immune to sense interrupt.
And he grabbed it, so now Casey can't play the second one.
So yeah, this is
Which is the right play by Wayne.
oh, that was very well played by Wayne in that regard. This could get interesting for Casey. He may not have to kick out of it, depending if his Battle Destiny goes through, and if Wayne doesn't draw great, he may not have to kick out of it. He's got a lot of forfeit up there. I mean, the Maul forfeits for 6, and
He's
the
he's
Inquisitor
down
forfeits
one
for
already.
7. Yeah, he's down 1, but if he draws,
Well, he's technically down 3 because Anakin's adding 2.
yeah.
But yeah,
So I mean, he's got 28 to 6, so he's down 22 before Destiny. The Destiny is a 3, so that was as
that's
good as it could have been.
yep.
So he'll draw a 7 for Battle Destiny, so he's down 15.
So them and 2.
Them and 2. Like, I'm not even sure you get that.
No, I think you just lose stuff at that point.
So, but
being able to
costing him Anakin is very good for KC to look at coming back and trying to hit.
yeah, well, and also stopping the transmission terminated came in handy too.
Yeah, that would have helped a lot. That would have stopped the. I mean, he'd have lost 1 instead of 2.
Yep.
So now Wayne needs to move that Resolute away.
Yes. He needs to go to Camino.
Yeah, he just needs to get away from the ability 6 required to draw. And let's see if he. Yep, so he docks the Azure Angel just to get it to
Have
move. And
forfeit.
yeah, it's forfeit fodder. Now he moves it to Camino.
And if he has Anakin back ever, then he can replay him easy enough. So
Yep. So Casey started this very aggressively. Casey had a good start. Wayne took his time, found the good answer. Now
but
let's
he
see how Casey responds.
but even still, right now, Wayne's only doing 3 damage a turn.
Yeah. But Casey's doing none unless he pays a whole bunch.
He's activating 21.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. But still, I mean, he'd be paying 12 to do 4. Like, that would not feel great. And Casey says, I'm just activating everything.
yeah, I mean, I don't think he needs to grab anything at this point.
I don't think he does either. And I think that bottom card should be. He didn't do anything other than draw
No.
Destiny. So that should be his Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yep.
So he knows he's got the 3 that turns into a 7. If he's got any ship.
And Wayne flipped over the We're Doomed combo, so you don't even now have to worry about We're Doomed. Like,
yeah. If Casey's got a ship, I think this is where you go straight at Camino, because drawing that 7 blows up Yularen and the Angel.
Yep.
So, oh, never mind. As Casey activates it with Vene, he can't be just going into
If he has,
here.
but if he has a ship, he can just deploy it to Kessel, and next turn he's draining for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's possible too.
I mean, he's winning the race right now.
Ship he has. He can't have Mara in ship.
No.
And he's probably not playing. Oh, okay. So it's another Maul.
I would have assumed it was another Maul.
Yeah. Because the other option would have been like maybe Zuckuss and Mist Hunter.
Yeah, and that may still be somewhere around, but.
So.
But yeah, I don't hate this. I mean, he's doing 5 damage to Wayne's 3, so now he's up, 23-22 with more cards in hand still too. So, like,
I will say I wouldn't have hated, especially if he had a pilot, to go after the Resolute and knock those, knock out Yularen and the Angel, because then Wayne's got to worry about the single Zuckuss and Mist Hunter type thing.
Yeah.
And Casey's just moving some stuff around, I think. Not even sure what the end goal is there. He's just sliding some guys around, slide them around.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I think just to put Vane in Blizzard 4, which I guess it stops her from getting clashed, but like you're not really worried about her being clashed if that's where that goes. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't.
Not totally sure of what the plan was there, but I mean, this is the OCS playoffs. Casey is a very good player. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and see where it goes from here, as Wayne only has 6 cards in hand. So Wayne's got 28 cards total. Casey's got 32. So even after these, this 3 force loss, Casey's still going to be up a card in hand and doing more damage.
Yep.
So Wayne's got to come up with something here. And Casey's losing cards in his loss pile that are going to be kind of cyclable as well. With Rebellion, every time he draws a Destiny, he can just swap a card from hand with the same card type in lost pile. And there's Wayne going Jedi Lev, I think, to get back Anakin.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
And are we going to put him back on the Azure Angel and just play run around in space? Oh! Casey says, no, I would like to not see that. and hits the sense. So Jedi Lev is lost, and that is going to cause Wayne to stop for a minute and think, because his plan
Yeah.
just did not. His plan just went very awry very quickly. So
Yeah, and I do think like if he had the Tarkin tracked, which is what that should have been, I still like your line a little bit better. You cloak Maul,
yeah,
he's
you
immune
cloak
less
Maul
than
to.
6 immunity, I think, and then just attack, and then you wipe out the Azir, and then Jedi Lev is irrelevant.
I
You
don't
still
think you
have your
do the
sense.
immunity, because I think if he's drawing 2 Destiny, he's cracking the immunity anyways.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think
you're
you
right.
add a Destiny to power and you just go, all right, I'm gonna. You
Well,
put a pilot. I mean, the problem with that is you could end up with just leaving him the Resolute alone,
right.
which
And
is
if this is your last ship, then it's gonna
yeah.
be harder to.
If this is the only ship, the way Casey did it is better.
Yeah.
And we see Wayne got another saber, went with the Qui-Gon to the prefect's office, which is what we talked about is going to be the going to cause a problem for Casey. Like it's not necessarily the drain of one isn't a big deal, but the Casey's going to
Well,
struggle to clear him.
the loss of damage is also gonna be
Yeah.
hard to do. Like it's gonna cut the damage down and make it even. But
Yep. And Casey plays another Dark Time, I guess. I mean, this is probably this might Casey might be thinking this is the last battle he's going to have,
maybe.
because he's certainly just going to avoid Qui-Gon and everyone else at this point. And there's Wayne popping Walkling to get back that Jedi Lev. Now, Jedi Lev is a once per game on the Lost, and he initiated that action, so I don't think he can do it again. He'll just get to use it to cycle.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
But because he initiated the once per game, because force push is
It
always the
counts the
same
most.
way. If you
Yeah.
sense the force push, you're still done.
Yeah.
So, and Wayne draws a 7 for Battle Destiny, which means Casey's down 4 right now. There's a 3, so Casey's going to end up losing Elspeth in 1, which isn't terrible, and can go grab a card. And went and got a 3rd at Dark Time, so he may have definitely been putting Wayne on We Have a Plan.
Yeah.
Because he grabbed Dark Time non-combo, and Greg in chat jumps right in with the Wayne cannot once per game the Jedi Lev again. So I'm feeling real smart right now. Thank you, Greg. That's what I wanted to hear. And all right.
That was the other problem with it, is losing that sight, still being weak leaves you open to that, and Casey hasn't spread anywhere to do any other damage anywhere else. So
Yeah,
he's kind
and
of put himself into a bind with that.
I
But
mean, Maul can get there, but then you're sticking Maul in front of Yularen, which is
correct.
kind of the problem, and you still have to. I mean, theoretically, you could move Maul there, jump Van A out of Blizzard 4, move Blizzard 4 over in front of Qui-Gon. That'll flip you back. You know, and that might be if Casey's got another ship, this would be where you can make that work, and then you just end up with somebody sitting in front of Qui-Gon, which is not ideal.
Well, but you can move Blizzard 4 over to back
Yeah,
somebody up too,
yeah. And
if you
yeah, in
needed
chat,
to.
he'd have to deploy a second ship to get a flip
Yeah.
work, because yeah, you'd deploy the ship and then you'd run the heck away. Like you're fine with if you flip, you're totally fine with him having the Routier system.
Right.
Like it's not a battleground,
Yeah.
and so
Hey,
he's paying for damage, and it's only a drain of 1 if you're flipped. It's just you got to prevent him from controlling another site, and that's going to be hard with Qui-Gon. Like Casey's in a little bit of a tough spot here.
well, it's not all that hard. I mean, it's just you're not clearing Qui-Gon, but you're not like you can deploy something in front of him and
Yeah, but
pause it.
if he keeps the Resolute at Routier, the
If
second
he
you
keeps
move away, Qui-Gon is going to flip you back when you have to move away from Qui-Gon because you don't
Well,
want to be in front of him.
you can also move Blizzard 4 over there, put a pilot on there, and Qui-Gon is only like you're fine with that. Like he's not going
Yeah,
to clear Blizzard 4 in a pilot.
and that would be the thing is you're just cycling a guy at that point every time to go with it. And see the Drano 1 causes a rebel leadership, and then Wayne using Bith Shuffle to shuffle Casey's reserve deck. And also, I think just, said, hey, you didn't play a barrier yet. I don't think you have one. I don't think I'm going to be fighting into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Blake, you're right. Battle plan may not be a huge issue, but at the same time, Wayne's only got 18 cards down right now. Like, using a chunk of those, because you got to leave a couple for Destiny, and you got to use them for everything. WHAP can be real force hungry at times, where you need a lot of force, and paying for those drains isn't always going to be as easy.
Like WHAP will get you in trouble because you got to spend force, and then like Wayne's at 4 cards right now in hand. Like
Yeah,
he hasn't had a great chance to really draw a bunch of cards, so he's kind of
yeah.
been put into that forced choke in a way to deal
Which
with
is,
it, which
he's
is weird to
activating
say, but
20 plus force, and we're saying he's choked. But no, I think we're talking about the same thing. And there's Vader in front of Qui-Gon, along
like
with Kyrkanos, I think just to say he wants to swing and hit. Maul can move to Raltier. He's hyperspeed 6, so he can get there, but then you have Maul sitting in front of the Resolute, which feels real bad.
yeah. And
And
I think Casey's going for it here,
Casey's just going, yeah, going
hoping
for
that
the heavy
Wayne in
beat,
his 4 cards does not have
a
the
deflection.
Hoojix. Well, the Hoojix as well.
Oh, yeah, because Kyrkanos can cancel the deflection, so. Oh, there's the It's a Trap.
Which would make sense.
And that's a card. That is definitely not the card
Casey wanted to
Casey
see.
wanted him to play. I think he was definitely hoping to see something like a blaster deflection.
Correct.
But at the same time, like we talked about, like I think Casey's still in a decent spot. Like no way is Wayne starting a battle there.
No. Wayne's going to move in front of the Emperor.
Yeah.
And, he's not. And Casey's still got twice as many cards as Wayne does right now. He's doing
more damage.
4 damage, which is more, and Wayne's paying for his still. Like,
yep.
And I keep shuffling my poker chips.
So yeah, Blake. I mean, if Casey wants to flip, he needs to do something to the system. Because at this point, Wayne can't just move away from the system where Casey immediately flips.
Right.
So, but I think Casey's okay with that. Like again,
Yeah,
the system's not a battleground. Casey's doing more damage.
Well, they're doing equal damage, I guess, because it's drain of 2, drain of 2.
Oh,
And
yeah.
actually, Wayne is up 1, I guess, with the decree. So if he pays 6 to do all this.
Yeah, without the drain -1, it's a drain of 2, and ping of 1.
Yeah.
But Wayne's down a couple cards, and he's going to have to figure out something with Qui-Gon because if Casey's got any other ship, he's just going to flip back and then.
Right.
He's now got a squad in front of Qui-Gon that Qui-Gon can't do much to.
No, Qui-Gon's running, and he's probably running to where Emperor is.
Yeah.
And
Casey also had the Aqua Monster in his deck. He was.
Well, we saw that from the sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't comment on it though. He was
fair.
definitely all in on Wayne messing with Battle Destinies.
Casey tends to play the monster in a lot of his decks. I was looking back at previous deck lists at times for Hunt Down and whatnot, and he's had the monster in there for a while.
I mean, it's so good against the decks where you just need that Destiny to go through.
Right.
That I don't hate that.
Right.
But yeah, with that plus 3 Dark Times, although he doesn't have enough force saved right now to use a Dark Time.
But Wayne activated everything. He's not battling.
Yeah, and well, but he didn't know Wayne was going to activate everything. It's
No,
more
he didn't.
there's
Yeah, yeah.
nowhere Wayne was going to battle with only 16, 17 cards down. I guess 18 cards down. Like, is he going to drain
Nah.
or is he going to deploy in battle? And if he deploys to battle, what's he going to do? And there's Mace in front of the Emperor. Okay,
Don't hate that.
yeah, I'm totally fine with that. And
I hate the
probably
fact that
just
the lightsaber's stuck on Kenobi, but don't hate that.
yeah. Well, and I don't think he's battling because he doesn't have a
No,
reserve deck.
no, but he could end up battling during, like, if Casey moves over, you could do some stuff with it.
Yeah, and
But
there's we move Qui-Gon in front, and I would expect next turn during Wayne's next deploy phase, if they both survive, you'll see the Jedi lightsabers
swap.
swapping.
Yeah.
And in case he just plays the masterful move, really to cycle and probably grab his Gick.
No,
Oh,
grab
image.
image.
Okay. Wasn't positive he was running image in the deck.
I would assume so, but it's not a high priority card to run.
Yeah. So now it really is the does Casey have another ship? If Casey has another ship, I think this gets real interesting real quick. And Casey says, I'm not starting a battle. He activates all 15 of his force. Assuming we'll just see a drain of 4 here. So Casey's got
Nope.
20 cards
He goes back.
total. Wayne has 20 cards total. Alright, so maybe Casey's going to battle somewhere. He leaves 1. We're going to see a quick search with the Emperor to see if that's something cancelable. And
No, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, well, Casey might know what it is, or he might just be good knowing, hey, I'm going to use this and be okay with it. Like, this would be the spot where if it's, you're going to use your third dark time, you're going to run your third dark time and
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean,
like, neither Mace,
there's not.
both Mace and Qui-Gon are fully immune right now.
Yeah, and there's not a great spot to really battle here. I mean, he's got Jarrus at one location to stop all the damage or the attrition.
Yeah.
He's got 2 completely immune Jedis, and he's got a stacked ship over there with a dead Azure Angel on it for forfeit 6. So, like,
yeah, I think the only spot would be if he's got something like the Zuckuss or Zuckuss and Forlom in
I was
Hunter.
I was also curious if he might have had like a Ellis to. Oh, I guess he can't because of
he can't
arrest order.
because of arrest order.
Yeah,
like
that's a good
there's
play.
a Sard to take over the 2. Just add to drains. Like Casey says, okay, this looks like it's going to be a drain race.
Yep.
Let's start racing.
And WHAP, I mean, Wayne's very close to being out of attackable characters. I mean, I don't know how many EPP Ahsokas he has. I saw 1 go off. I don't know if
he might have one more Ahsoka or Anakin.
He might have an Anakin, might have an Ahsoka. He's got Panaka somewhere. He's got the other trooper somewhere.
Yeah. But he's only got 2 cards in hand.
Right.
So, like,
and this is where
cards.
And this is where Casey, I think, is completely fine with, okay, fine, you're not battling into me with this. You're not, not doing, you're paying to do 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Now you're paying 6 to do 4. I'm doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like,
yeah.
But he does need to be careful here in this move phase because,
so Wayne's now down to 1 card in hand as he uses the Quite a Mercenary.
If he spreads wonky, he can let Wayne divide his Jedi and not really be able to do much against him. So he does need to be careful in the move phase a little bit.
Yeah, so he's moved Blizzard 4 over. I almost wonder if do you just stack Blizzard 4 with forfeit and. No, I think you.
I think you at least move Kirkanos there, and then you leave a stack.
Kirkanos. I think you might move Vader as well. Yeah, you want to threaten if he starts a battle, you're going to swing back. So because you don't, Qui-Gon only gets the +2 Battle Destiny when he's alone, so you're not worried about the like, oh, suddenly that swing makes it
Well,
+4.
and Mace is no longer fully immune with Vader there.
Yep. So, and Casey does have enough saved to play his Dark Time, assuming he doesn't draw too much. So, that's something to keep in mind if Wayne decides to battle. Like, Casey is going to get a Battle Destiny
So he
somewhere.
has enough. He saved enough, so he can do that.
Yeah, he's left 4, so that is enough to run that. Let's see what Wayne does in response here. Like,
I mean, he's only got one card in hand, so he's not got a ton.
yeah, and I mean, in
And if
theory, if he spreads out the Jedi here,
no, he
that's a
had the
solid.
transmission.
He had the transmission terminator. Was the other card in hands.
I would have guessed he put Casey on Hunt down.
Yeah, and there's
Oh,
another sense.
he got the
Oh,
sense back. He got the sense back. Oh, that's brutal. Yeah. Wayne should have pulled the shield after he lost his sense. Right. But Casey will still be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. 7 damage. Whatever. Yep. But I don't think Casey needs to flip at this point to win this game. Right. Yeah. Right. They lost your. I don't know when they lost you, but they lost you, and I can hear you. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just a moment ago. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he does split the Jedi up. He does move Resolute. All of these things. I could be talking to myself. I tend to do that, but uh, he does exactly what we thought he was going to do. So yeah, I don't know. Just, yeah, you're not coming through. I turned on the sound on the stream. Mm. All right, well, I'll talk while you figure it out. So yeah, Casey's gonna have to figure out what he wants to do this turn. He can he can battle if he needs to. I don't know if he does. Um, Draining of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seems fine. Wayne goes ahead and pulls the shield now. Mm. I mean, it's a little late, but better than not ever pulling it, maybe. Um, so we'll see what Casey has. Um, not 100% sure which way he's gonna go. He might battle with Mara and try to hit, but I mean, it's gonna be tough to hit. And if Wayne has a blaster deflection or Jedi's concentration, he won't get to. And they're both completely immune, staring at each other. So looks like he's probably gonna try. Um, nope. There's the disarmed. I don't know if they can hear you or not. Well, it's got a little bit of a delay, but not a ton. So we'll see. Um, let's see. Looks like he's doing all his drains, which is what we kind of expected. Wayne's down to 8 cards to Casey's 11, 9 to 13 with hand sizes. Down to more. Yeah, I don't even know if Casey needs to battle here. He could probably just ignore it at this point and just move guys to block. I don't even know if you want to deploy another card. It's just more life force that you don't get to count. So, yeah. So let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like Wayne's doing 5, Casey's doing 6. I think you're okay with that if you're Casey. Yeah, I wonder if yeah, I wonder if something went wonky with like Streamlabs. Yeah, I mean you could. It's still going up and down with the sound when you talk. It's still got the bar that goes up and down. Yes, Mara did just get disarmed. I would just go and re-add the microphone and like take it out of your take it off of yours, like uncheck the device that it's tied to, and then say okay, apply that setting, and then reapply the microphone again and see if that fixes it. Okay, and it didn't change. So yeah, Casey does not battle. He looks like he's just going to start moving some guys around. Um, moves Blizzard 4 with Emperor. I probably would have done Vader with Emperor, Blizzard 4 to Qui-Gon. And and yeah, I definitely think I would have done swap the Blizzard 4 and Vader just because Vader with Mace makes him not. I guess he's not battling with Mace with no lightsaber anyway, but he's probably not battling anyway. He doesn't really have the force to do this. It's just a math battle. Uh, he's I don't really hate it. Stops 2 damage. He's got the dark time to keep his draw alive. And I mean he's taking 2 damage, 3 damage this turn instead. I think it's fine. It's just going to be really, really close. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the first time it's happened with Streamlabs. Out of all the streams we've done, it's the first time I see this. Who the hell is that dude? Oh, okay. Yeah. He draws Battle Destiny. That's all you want. Okay, so Kit blocks that drain. So now it's. Yeah, but now he's going to be left with somebody and he doesn't have a Hujix. I don't think I like that. I think you just gave Casey the potential to get some more damage in. So Wayne will drop to 3 cards left in his reserve deck, and he's tied right now. And Casey does have a dark time, so if he can get a decent Destiny above his, then he can cause a few more damage. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be I worry that this leaving Mace there could, if Casey has anything else to drop, it could turn a win from 4 to 7, which isn't a huge deal, but it could be. I mean, that's what match play is all about. So every little bit helps. Yeah, he needs a little bit extra to overflow Mace. Like Mace is currently covering all the damage right now as he forfeits for 8. So he's got 14 to Casey's 13 power. And then it kind of comes down to Destiny at that point. And so Casey has to outdraw him by more than 1 to do damage. And I don't know. I don't know what Wayne's last 3 cards are. It might be possible, but put it back. Yep. He can put that interrupt back, raises, although he's not gonna get a chance. Well, he will, because it's a difference. No, it's not gonna change anything. Casey has 3 cards in hand, so he should just peel. He's only doing 3 damage. He's only doing 3 damage either way. I guess he might be able to. Okay, so he can subtract 1. Sure, that's a thing. Well, it changes it to a win by 2 instead of 1. So now Wayne is probably committed to. No, he's gonna do that. Yeah, but now Casey's flipped and he can technically battle with somebody else. Yeah. Yep. So Casey wins game 1 by 7 with 22 and lost to Wayne's 35. If you haven't played match play, that stuff matters. Those are the tie breaks for the next, in case Wayne wins by 7 exactly the next time. They are not starting game 2 tonight, though, I don't believe. So Friday at 9, though, we'll be doing game 2. There is a game tomorrow morning or Friday morning. Friday morning at some early time, 6 a.m. Pacific, 6 a.m. Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. real time, 3 p.m. Europe time. In case anybody is watching from there. Garrett might be streaming for it, but not 100% sure. If not, if nobody's streaming, the game will be shown live. It may get commentary later. Okay. Okay, so then Garrett should be available for it. Yep, looks like they are done. So we will see you guys Friday.